Hello everybody, welcome back. Things aren't as bad as you might think. In fact, things are quite good. So, looking at Bitcoin, we've got ourselves still holding support, whether it's a candle body basis basically, on the 10 exponential, which has been the ricocheted bounce from here. It's also been yesterday and today. So, it's not out of the woods. We could easily come down to the 20 moving average here, which is 68,500, maybe even a little lower, 68,175. 21 exponential, all of that still perfectly fine for what is 65% more likely to remain above that Bollinger Band portion. So things still look pretty good, to be honest with you. I'm not just saying that. They do. We've got the Chiku span still floating above the price action with the conversion baseline above the cloud, which is your trend signal, still in play on the daily. That's not going to get cancelled out until we see the Chiku span close inside the price action, which would mean if it was to do it today, it would have to dump 10%. To close inside that candle body. The conversion baseline are not going to cross anytime soon. And that doesn't mean that it can't come down there over time and then cancel out, over a space of a dragged out week. But right now, it's not. So right now, the trend signal is still in play. Not just on the daily, but obviously also on the weekly. These are all things that we've recognised, and we're just still sailing that trend. So the trend is still good. As far as I can tell, there's nothing to doubt that the trend will continue to move up. Actually, thinking about it now, just looking at it now with the candles closing above the 10, has a good chance of actually going straight back up. And that doesn't mean by the time the end of this video it's a new all-time high, but with this current relationship to from price action to moving averages, yeah, it's trying to move back up immediately. Golden cross on simple moving averages, it's all absolutely fine. So the next thing we've got to look at will be the shorter term time frame. So when we hit that significant high, we recognise that the money flow index was at 90, close to 98, which was hot. It's come all the way down to the chilled out version of 20. So really, what we're looking at now is a little bit of bullish divergence on this way down, with the RSI as well, that should be able to lead us back up. Now, Bitcoin's going to have a problem in the short term based on the 4 hourly around just below 71,000, so 70,900. That's the area to reclaim on the short term time frames. We saw a big rejection on that 20 moving average yesterday. Now the moving average is lower now. It's around 70,850 and descending. So with every 4 hourly close, it will get lower and lower, and potentially pushing us down from lower areas. But once it's broken, you'll be looking for 72,700. Probably get revisited, and then maybe new all-time highs straight after that. Crazy, right? It's crazy. So Bitcoin currently in still technically bullish mode, really. Let's just face it, it's still bullish mode. Now we've got the total 2, which is just the same as Bitcoin we have. And again, we're just going to focus on what we can see and nothing other than that. Take away from the weekly, go to the daily. What do we see? So we see the conversion baseline crossed here above the cloud. It's a trend signal. We've got price action above the cloud and the Chiku span above the price. It's a trend signal. So it's not, it doesn't look like a trend at the moment, does it? But the setup suggests, well, it doesn't suggest, that's what that signal means. That actually the total 2 is already in an uptrend. It just hasn't trended up. But the trend is in play. So we're in a descending triangle formation. We've been in here since the alt season peaked around March, and we're still there getting rejected on the trend line and also the death cross retest of the 200 simple moving average. So for altcoins, really, you've got to get back up to and above this area, which means, you've got to close arguably like close to, if not more than a 7% move from the price of where we are right now on the total 2. But, stranger things have happened. But there is a trend signal in place. So, we've got that, although the chart looks a little weak, let's face it. Now, the Bitcoin dominance chart is sort of moving up to its next level. It's 63 to 64% dominance. We recognise that the money flow index is high. The last time we get high like this, and here, and here, we can see that we've got massive alt season here, massive alt season here, and a relatively big alt season here. Also another one over here. So, we've got signs of historical relevance that yes, we haven't hit a major resistance, but we are hot on alt season's tail. It doesn't have to happen. All right, I just put it to you. You know, it's evidence based. You know, it's not like I'm not a YouTuber or something that's just going, I think because I want. No, I'm saying I suggest because I can see. So that's what these things are saying, and I think over time, what's likely to happen is we'll move up, and then we'll come all the way back down again. I'm going to leave this little squiggle on this chart. It's weekly. It'll take a while. By the time it's happened, everyone will have forgotten that I was calling for it, because everybody at that point will have managed to fool their audiences into thinking that this was always going to happen this way. But I'm telling you in advance, this is what I think is going to happen. That's like a year's worth of price analysis in a simple squiggle, but that's what it is. So that is that. That is that. Now, it is the weekend, obviously, today, which means that we are away from those naughty stocks and those horrible Forex pairs and the commodities and all of that. So none of that's doing anything today, which is fine. So crypto should be able to do its own thing, which is also fine. And looking at the state of Bitcoin with its trend signal sitting above a 10 exponential on a daily, I think we have a good chance of having a nice green Saturday. Same thing with altcoins, really. So we did the stream last night, the Patreon stream. I am going to lower the price. I'm going to try and do that now. I just had a little try to do it 10 minutes before I made this video. It's more complicated than I remember. But I am going to bring down the price of the first tier just by a smidgen. If anyone wants to join, it's going to be at a lower price this month. Yeah, we were looking at a lot of coins on the stream last night, and the takeaway was some minorities of altcoins actually have good charts. The majority of them are sideways, and then there is also a handful which is basically down only, which is probably best to be left alone. So not all altcoins are created equal. Just off the top of my head here, we've got SHIB, which again, I'm not shilling SHIB. I know it's high risk, but it's still an okay chart. So this isn't too bad when you see we've got Golden Cross retested just yesterday. You know, it's not the greatest setup you've ever seen in the world. However, that Golden Cross does exist, and it was retested. So if we can just reclaim areas just around 188. We'd be above all moving averages on this daily here and be ready for a rip. You know, we're above most moving averages on the daily. We're above all moving averages on the weekly. You know, and I'm not putting this out there to say buy SHIB right now. I'm just saying some altcoins look okay, some don't. Now, this is a minority. Not many altcoins look like this. But this actually does look okay. So if you are going to try and outperform Bitcoin, you've got to try to find the chart that looks better than Bitcoin, and it's very hard, because even SHIB, you know, as I'm saying, SHIB has a chance of outperforming Bitcoin. It's not as strong as Bitcoin's chart. Look, Bitcoin's chart is in a perfect rainbow spread where all the moving averages are in the perfect position. We've got 7, 10, 20, 21, 50, 50, 200, 200. They're in the right place, and they're diverging. So that's an uptrend, and strength is continuing. That's what all of that means. That's what it is. And so Bitcoin is still better than SHIB, but you know, SHIB can move. Of course it can. You know, let's have a look at Link. So Link's not doing anything other than what I think is accumulating, similar to how it accumulated over here. Blah, 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 boosh. So I think we're doing a shorter version of that. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think we're going to boosh. So a lot of accumulation going on many altcoins. XRP, not the same. So XRP, death cross on the daily over here. Death cross on the 4 hourly. So there's a lot to dismiss on that, but holding on to a weekly would suggest Golden Cross retest. So you see what I mean? No altcoin is created equal. I've just shown you 3 altcoins which I like, right? I like and I hold. All with different setups. Some doing daily Golden Crosses, some doing accumulation, some getting rejection. Yeah, they're all different. The one thing that they've got in common, though, is that they will follow Bitcoin's downtrend. If Bitcoin breaks down, they will all break down too. And that's what makes altcoins particularly vulnerable in this period of the market, because it's not there's not enough confidence in altcoins right now to hold them up at any price that they manage to find themselves at. So wherever they go, they will sell back off, because they haven't established strong trends, if a trend at all. But if you believe, as I do, that all of this is going to go up over the next 12 months, and it's not that I'm saying I think it's going to do because I want it to. I see the the reflection of 2020 into 2021 on the charts. It looks the same. In fact, I would say that this is probably one of the most exciting parts of the market now, because it's almost like most people don't see it, or unaware of it, or just afraid of it, and that's fine. That's fine. But me being through a couple of market cycles already, and seeing a relatively clear-cut copy of how the previous cycle behaved around this period, to me, this is like this is the time. This is the time. We've gone through consolidation. We're in accumulation for the most part, waiting for a breakout for altcoins that we're likely to see. I believe we're likely to see big moves on altcoins over the next 12 months, probably even this year. The problem is, everyone wants to buy the absolute low. I pressed buy, and for some reason the price went down a little bit before it went up. I can't handle that sell. Yeah, that is a problem for a lot of people. It's a problem for me sometimes, because you always want to buy the low, but there's no reason that the moment that you press buy means that you've actually hit the low. It's just kind of crazy to assume that. You can wait for an uptrend to start, and that's also okay. Or you can plant yourself into accumulation zones and then just sit back and wait. There's many ways to try and get through this market, but personally, when we're looking at it through the lens of time, we have 12 months left, in my opinion. Less than that, really, now. We're about 11, maybe even 10 months left. It's likely to be the most exciting part of the market. But before it gets exciting, it gets dull and depressing, boring, black and white, before we go technicolor. And that's where we are right now. We're black and white, boring. And it's not for most people. They don't want to buy into a boring market with zero confidence to it. In a tricky part of the year, when Bitcoin is reigning supreme, and we've got American elections kicking in next week. So I can understand the fear, and that's fine. Fear is not a massive problem. If you don't want to take the risk, that's fine. Everybody has their own risk tolerance. Don't listen to somebody say you're gonna miss out, you mother. You know what I mean? Don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. You know what you're happy with risking, and you should play the markets according to that. Because if you get pressured or bullied or, misled into buying something that goes down in price forever, you will be upset with yourself, but also with them, quite rightly. All I'm telling you is, this is my expectation. I think it's going to go up based on the indicators and the fractals that I see. And I'm willing to take the risk. But that doesn't mean that you should also. So, it's up to you. It's completely up to you what you do. I know what I do. I'm very vocal about it every morning. So, my risk tolerance is actually quite low, surprisingly. So I consider this area right now to be, short-term risky, but long-term prosperous. I think there's going to be a lot of gains to be made within the next 10, 11, 12 months. But I could be wrong, obviously. Right, I'll leave it with you there, but thank you for watching. Good luck. I think we're going to be green today. I think it's probably going to be quite green, actually. 71,000 key area. If we can close above there on a daily, I'd probably be looking for new all-time highs next week, despite the elections and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Take it easy.